I don't even know how to react, honestly. I mean, I should just start the video. Hey guys, what's up? I'm here with a review of a science fiction comedy horror film from 2009, and that movie is Feast 3: The Happy Finish. I finally watched the third final film in the Feast trilogy, and it follows the same group of survivors from the second film as they're saved by a mysterious prophet, that is nicknamed Short Bus Gus, that can control these monsters. And he leads them into the sewers, and they attempt to travel to the big city, and then they get help from this karate expert wannabe actor, and then they learn that the beasts actually originated from a place called the Hive, which is not really anything important because you still don't find out what the beasts actually are, other than that they're just creatures. Now, now, then they decide to destroy the beasts once and for all. Um, yeah. No. The first film had a lot of monster suits and practical gore effects, and I loved it. I loved almost every second of that film. Like, that's one of the films that I absolutely love that I don't own yet. The second film had some practical effects and some CGI effects, and I gotta say, it's a good horror comedy. The first one was a bit more, like, horror. I mean, there was a good amount of comedic elements in the film, but this second one was more of a really, really, really dark and gross comedy. I mean, that's what the second one was. And probably the same for the third. I mean, it has equal amounts of practical and CG effects, which I'm happy to see that they didn't go overboard with the CG. Plus, someone getting beat up so bad that they shit their pants using a pipe that is stuck through the frontal lobe of someone's brain, like the front part of their brain, as a makeshift gun when you only have ammo, which reminded me of the homemade shotguns made with a pipe, wrenches, and some shotgun shells from Dead and Breakfast. And death by glory hole. I'm not joking. Death by glory hole impregnation. Not gonna lie. Having seen the first two films, I expected the glory hole thing just before it happened. I saw like how the scene was setting up, and I'm like, this. It's how it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But the results of the glory hole kind of thing, no one could expect it. Much like the first two films, there are deaths in the film, and there are stuff like that that are sudden, unexpected, and sometimes funny. But an example of that is at 43 minutes in, one of my favorite characters, probably my second favorite character. I'm not going to spoil who it is. You're going to have to watch the movie to find out if you've seen the first two films. Then see the first film and you'll know what I'm talking about. But probably my second favorite character that was in the last two films died, and I was very sad to see that happen. But my absolute favorite character, who was in all three films, lived, so I was extremely happy with that. The acting the acting isn't that great, but again, it's an independent flick. You can't expect fucking Citizen Kane from an independent film. Really, the effects are pretty good. I mean, they're not, as as I wouldn't say as like cool or crazy as the effects in the first one, although it's been a few years since I've seen the first. Actually, it's probably been a year since I watched the first one. Um, and if you've seen the first two films and you enjoyed them, just watch this one because you'll most likely enjoy it. This is one of those movies that has an ending that is just pure fucking gold. Like, when it happened, I did not know how to react. I just sat there until the credits ended with my jaw dropped, just repeating what over and over again. I still cannot, like, just get the ending through my head because it's just so, oh my fuck. Um, it's it's one of those endings you don't see coming and nobody sees it coming. It's one of those kinds of endings that makes you realize that, all this stuff, all these goofy characters and bad acting and writing and these settings and who these characters are and all everything about them, it helps you realize that, it helps you realize that not everything's meant to be taken seriously. It's kind of like the filmmaker's way of saying, none of this was meant to be taken seriously, guys. It's just a stupid, lowbrow horror comedy. And I really liked that ending, honestly. I mean, many people didn't like it. I thought it was good, much like the ending to Terror Vision. I thought that ending was good. On the gore meter, one being something like the Corpse Grinders and 10 being something like Brain Dead, I would at least give this film a solid 7. A 7, maybe 6.5. Somewhere between 6 and 7 it belongs. Either 6 or 7, because this movie is definitely, like, kind of, it's not extremely gory. I mean, you see some severed heads and some guts and stuff like that, and you see a lot of blood spray. I mean, if anything, it's more of a extremely bloody movie. But there are still a good amount of gore scenes where people are just blown up and shit like that. So it's good to see a good amount of gore. But yeah, rating, I think I'd give this movie maybe a 3 out of 5 at the maximum. I mean, I didn't love it as much as the first one. Like, the first film I'd give maybe a 5 out of 5. Second film, maybe a 4, maybe a 3. This one, the maximum rating I could give it is a 3. The minimum is a 2.5. It's definitely one of those movies that you have to be a very open-minded kind of cult film person to really enjoy it, and you have to have seen the first two films and actually enjoyed the first one for what it was, enjoyed the second one for the stupidity that it was, and enjoyed this one for the stupidity that it is. And that's really all I have to say about this series. I mean, I'm definitely gonna have to buy the entire trilogy, because I know they sell the 3-pack of them, so I may have to buy it off Amazon or wherever, because I was just gonna buy Feast, because they don't sell, I don't think they sell a double pack with Feast and Feast 2, and I didn't want to pay, like, for all 3 movies if I didn't, if I didn't love Feast 2 but I enjoyed it, and if I didn't love Feast 3, like, it'd just be one of those things, like, I'd rather just own the good one and leave the other sequels out of this. But still, I enjoyed them, and definitely gonna have to buy the whole trilogy. Anyway, guys, this is a 9-minute long review. Been a while since I had one of these. I'm Biscuit Boo 69, signing off at 10 o'clock. Peace.